Welcome to the Steve Smith channel. This is airsofting on a budget.
So the first thing you're going to want is an AEG. That would be an electric airsoft gun that operates on a battery and a gear and piston system in the main housing here. You're going to want an AEG just because the sheer power. This thing will shoot up to 30 rounds a minute, no problem. And you really can't beat that kind of fire with a Springer. Springers are cool if you want to spend very little money, but they just can't keep up. And with the advancements in airsoft technology, you can get decent AEGs for less than $100, especially in the States. If you live in Canada, you're going to pay more, but that's just how it is. So if you do like it, you can get, I personally went with one that's Spetsnaz Kalashnikov by Cybergun, I believe. And so it was quite affordable, about $130. Great gun to begin with if you want something cheap. AK, so fit with a lot more loadouts than your M4. Especially if you're at the beginning, you don't know necessarily what kind of a loadout you want to run. AK is a good option because way more armies use them. You're going to want an AEG just because it's better than a Springer. Duh. Okay. So, now we're still talking about guns, but do you want a secondary? There are two options for a secondary. Most people will run either a pistol or a shotgun as a secondary. Some people will run a submachine gun, but there's not enough of them to really make that a whole category of its own, and I don't own a submachine gun that's affordable. So, we're going to look at Springer pistols. Now, Springer pistols are cool. They look like real pistols, except that they're clear, most of them. Some of them are not clear, but in Canada they are. They look good, they feel great in your hand, but they only shoot one shot at a time, and that is a nuisance when you are trying to shoot a lot of people. So, you are definitely going to want to look for something that is not a Springer. So, the next step up would be a CO2 or a green gas. Now, CO2 is significantly less expensive than a green gas, especially if you're going for non-blowback. You can get those for between $45 and $50. Of course, you can get them for more expensive, but those are the lower end. If you want a green gas, you're going to be spending between $80 and $200 for sure, especially if you live in Canada. So, cool, but if you want the small secondary, it's the way to go. Now, if you want a shotgun secondary, they're much larger, significantly quicker to load, and also significantly more accurate. Now, some of them do have more power than the pistols, so they will go further. This pistol, because it's a little bit more of an expensive Springer, it shoots pretty much the same as the shotgun. The only difference is the shotgun has a significantly longer barrel, giving it significant more accuracy, and this shotgun also comes with a hop-up system, which is good if you are shooting long range outside. This shotgun was originally clear, but I painted it camouflage just to tack it out a little bit, make it look more awesome. Doesn't really, but anyways. So you're going to want, if you want a shotgun, you're going to need also a holster or something to hold it on your back. If you want to hold it on your back, you're going to need like a cheap backpack or something to hold it in. That said, shotguns are significantly more practical than pistols for secondary weapons that are Springers. So if you want to go with a Springer shotgun, this is the way to go. They're about $25. They're not bad. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them at wherever. They won't last long, but they're $25. So, that's just the way to go. Now, if you're looking for an M4, this is not the best kind of M4 you'd want. This is, first of all, this is a pellet gun, not for airsoft. But it does give a good example of what Springer airsoft guns work like. You have to pull back a charging handle, then you can fire. You're charging it, and then you're shooting it, and then you gotta recharge. Now that works well if you're in a sniper position, and that is the only time I would suggest you buy a spring rifle, because they are only about $100, and you can get some pretty good sniper rifles for $100. That said, you have to play sniper because you cannot run into the middle of a battlefield where other people are shooting at you with 30 BBs a minute, and you can only shoot back 2. So, if you want to play sniper, go with a spring-powered rifle that's good quality. Don't cheap out. Okay, moving on to gear. Now, a lot of people want to run tack vests or plate carriers or chest rigs and things. You know, they're cool and they're really practical, but they're expensive. You know, you can get the cheaper vests are $45, more expensive vests, especially if you want plate carrier, you know, they're going to run you $100. So, I mean, they're cool, and if you want to go more money, go ahead, buy those, they're great. But if you want to go cheap, you're going to want a jacket like this one with lots of pockets, and, you know, front pockets, side pockets, with buttons preferably, or Velcro to keep them closed so that nothing falls out while you're running. You are definitely going to want pants with pockets, preferably a cargo pant that matches your jacket in color. You can get military style BDUs for $25 to $30. They're not legit, but they look real. You can get them in multicam and desert cam in a couple of the colors. But personally, if you want to go really on the cheap, go to the thrift shop. Go to your thrift shops. They are the best places to find gear that looks good and functions properly. Right now I'm wearing this jacket. I got it at the thrift shop for $1. It looks pretty operator. I mean, for $1, you can't beat this kind of look. It's good quality, it's thick cotton, it's not going to hurt too bad if I get shot with it on. It does its job. You know, it's got like military loops and everything if you want to put on insignia. Doesn't have any Velcro space, but what you gonna do? And the reason you want all these pockets is so that you can keep your mags, because I mean you're running around with 3 of these, you're going to want to put them somewhere. So you're going to want to put them in your pocket, you're going to want to put them in most likely a pocket. If you want to make your own gear, you could probably do that too for low cost. If you want to buy like little pouches or something to put on your belt, you can find those at the thrift shop as well. Okay, so anyways, if you want to buy little pouches that are about this big, you can buy them. They're like cell phone cases, or you can buy like even old beer sleeves, you know, those neoprene beer sleeves. Those things are perfect for fitting magazines into because they're pretty stretchy, but they also fit the mags and hold them in place. If you want to do something like that, just be creative. Go to the thrift shop, go to your local Goodwill, go to your local Salvation Army, and look for things that would hold a magazine. That said, if you're running high caps, you can probably just keep them in your pockets because you're only going to need 2 or 3 of them. If you're running mid caps, because they feed better, you're going to need more of them because they just don't hold as much ammo. Oh, you are also definitely going to want a dead rag. Dead rags are important so that people know that you are dead. I have a really awesome one right now. Patriotism! What? So, I mean, this is probably not the best death rag, but it's pretty obvious. People can tell you're dead. And it's patriotic at the same time. You could probably find these in the States too if you want. I only paid 10 cents for this at my local thrift shop. Next thing, you are going to need a mask or eye protection. Now, these are a little bit harder to find at thrift shops, but you can find them. I found this one there. I paid $2 for it. Now, it is a mesh mask, and that will concern some people, and it should. They are not the best. The other thing you can do is you can find TSA approved goggles like these, full seal, because most places require that. And, you know, if you can find some, they also work pretty good. These are not obviously for airsofting, but they are TSA approved, or whatever. They are approved for stress. So, you know, look for these. If you don't know for sure if they're approved, shoot them a bunch with your AEG. If they don't break, good on you. If they do break, don't use them, obviously. If you are going to wear goggles, you are going to want a face mask, something to protect your teeth and your face from getting holes in it, because that's nasty and they can hurt really, really bad. I found this at my local dollar store. It is and then I painted it to look like Ghost from Call of Duty. I mean, it looks pretty good. Let's see if you can see that a little bit better. There you go. Looks scary, looks pretty menacing. There's no holes in it there's a little bit of a hole here, I guess, but that would be easy to plug. and it'll keep your face protected from BBs. It's hard plastic, you're good. You wear some goggles over top here, your whole face is protected, and you look awesome at the same time. So just keep that in mind. This is like $1 if you can find them. If you can't find them, another thing that I found that will work is winter ski masks. So something like this. It's a neoprene Velcro face mask. You can get these for $2 or $3 at a large box store. You can get these at Cabela's. You can get these at hunting stores. You can get them in camouflage if you want. And they cost between $3 and $10 most of the time. I'm sure you can find them for more expensive, but you always can with anything. And so they will protect your face. They're neoprene, so I mean they're not going to do as good of a job as hard plastic, but they will keep you from getting cuts most of the time, and they'll protect most of your face. I don't know how well they will protect your teeth, but that's a risk you will have to take if you can't find a plastic face cover. But it is a good thing, and it looks kind of tactical because it's dark black, and it's awesome. Also, excellent for winter because it's warm. Okay, moving on from there, you're going to want headgear. Now, there are a few options for this. You can go military surplus and get old helmets like this. They are a bit more expensive, but they do work. They are real helmets. You can get them at your Army surplus stores. You can get them online. You know, they're about $35 to $75, and they're made of steel. Or you can get the Kevlar ones. They're a bit more expensive, but you know, these are legit. They'll work well. Just make sure that your inside has the lining in it still, and preferably make sure you have all the straps. I do not, so I do not run this helmet in any operations because it just doesn't work. But if you can find one that has all the straps on it, great for you. The next thing you can do, you can go on Amazon, you can go on eBay, and you can buy one of these. These are plastic replica helmets. They look pretty much like German World War II helmets or standard Kevlar helmets that a lot of militaries run today. They fit well, they're light, you got a nice chin strap here, and they'll hold your helmet on quite well, and they'll stop BBs in their tracks. And these cost between $10 and $15. Don't spend more than that because you can get them for that price. You know, just keep your eyes open. You can buy these online. Quite affordable. Look pretty good. I mean, I have to admit, I stuck this Canada flag on the back because patriotism. Just make sure that your helmet will fit with your mask. If it does not, get something else. Another thing that is quite practical to wear if you cannot find a helmet is a hat or toque, as we say in Canada. But, you know, just a beanie or something that will protect your head. Yeah, make sure it's an appropriate color. If you want to go like a bit more low profile, you know, get a forge cap, you know, get a baseball cap, get a hat, because hats are cool. They will not protect you as well as a helmet, but they are cool. Now the next thing you're going to want is boots. Now these are expensive. You can, however, buy cheap boots at Walmart or at Target. They look pretty decent. They look like, you know, police boots or army boots, but they are not the best. I mean, obviously, you're only spending $60 on a pair of shoes. They are not going to be good, but they do look the part. And if you get a decent pair of insoles for them, you know, they will work. Now, if you're wanting to go really tactical, you're going to want to buy a pair of Magnums or a pair of, you know, Under Armour boots or 511s, something like that. But they're going to run you more money. They're going to run you between $100 and $200, and that's a bit out of the price range for us budgeters. So, what you can do is you can run your standard shoes, preferably a hiking boot though. That's what I'll say. Hiking boots, you can get them for $100. They're decent and they look good, and you can use them for other stuff too. You don't have to use them just for airsoft. And that's what I do. I have a nice set of Merrell 10-inch boots, and you know, they run great. They work excellently for what I need them for. Okay, so if you have Picatinny rails on your gun, you are most likely going to want to mount a flashlight to it. And there are a few ways to do that. You can get really cheap pack box flashlights like this one. They're like, this one came in a set, came with the foregrip, came with the pack box, and it came with a laser, and the whole set was like $15. You are also going to want, oh, of course, some neck protection. Now, I don't have a Shimog. A lot of people run Shimogs, and they work well, but Shimogs are $15 to $20, and I got this at the thrift shop for 25 cents. It is a camouflage fabric, which I sewed into a loop. So it's like a giant loop that you put over your head, and as you put it over your head, it will protect your neck and the back of your neck and even the back of your head if you wear it properly. So you pull it over your head like this. You can pull it up as a hood. If you want to protect the back of your head some, you know, you can pull it up over the front of your face to protect a bit of your face. You can do all that kind of stuff. Keeps you warm in winter. Protects most of your neck, especially if you have full face mask. So, I mean, that will protect you from the most important things. Now, this, like I said, only cost me about 25 cents. You can probably find other fabrics or fabric stores that will sell you scraps of camouflage fabric for cheap, so always keep your eyes open for that. Ultimately, the cheap airsoft guide is that you gotta keep your eyes open and you gotta be creative. So you see something in camouflage and you're like, man, I like that. Will that work for my airsoft thing? You look at it and say, well, look, it's just stupid little tube of camouflage fabric. That's not gonna work. But then you're like, oh, I need a Shimog. I'm gonna use it as a Shimog. Perfect. You know, you see a cell phone case, like for a BlackBerry. It's like, oh man, that thing's so outdated, but it's only 25 cents. And look at that, it fits my mag right inside it. And it clips onto my belt. Perfect. That's the kind of thing you gotta keep your mind open for. So as you go out, go to your thrift shops, go to your used stores. And to all you airsofters out there, don't forget to have fun. This is just about, that's what it's about. It's not about looking the best or having the best gear. Just have fun and enjoy yourself.